Yes, sir. Let's get it, guys. What's up? LTA baby. Yes, sir. What's happening, G's? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's the midweek once again. That means reversal day or what? Is that what's happening today? Are we going to see gold dropping further? Question mark. We're going to find out in this session today here. Looking forward to do a little recap from yesterday and then come back towards the chart again. Looking at gold right now at the moment, we're heading towards the monthly candle closure, ladies and gentlemen. The monthly candle closure, absolutely king. And super important to take in consideration when we're heading to the end of the week. And a weekly candle closure on a Friday. We have only 2 days left. We have the news event coming up as well. It's gonna be a wild ride. We're gonna have the GDP still coming tomorrow, and then the day after that, the PCE price index. Both very important. Very important. All right. Good to see you guys. Let's quickly check out the fam. And let's see what we have with us today in the community who came here perfectly on time here. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you working hard in the summer days. Well done. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right. Let's see what we have. Drotty, Stefan, Big Boss Fishing, my man Connor, Mariana, I see Roos uit Eindhoven. Nice, nice, nice. And Mike, shout out to Mike, man. Marty, Liam, Riku, my man. G, Clark, Gilbert. Any new faces? Not really yet. Azuro, Too Wavy, Hassan, Ellie Bird. I'm pretty good at names, you know. I'm pretty good at names these days. Uresh, Fabian, yes. Mohammed, Tech Gamer Boy, nice. Okay, the fam is back. Shout out to you guys, man. Looking forward to talk about gold. All right. If you are new though, and I skipped you in a second here, then don't hesitate to subscribe to your boy. Don't hesitate to subscribe to your boy right now. All right, we're heading towards the 99,000, and that means that we're only 1,000 away from the 100K. The one and only 100,000 subscribers. That's a real statement right there. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Quick news: Funded Next is on TradingView, G's. Funded Next is now on TradingView. All right. So if you're interested in doing a challenge right here, this is one of the first CFD brokers that finally has that TradingView plugin. All right, what you need to do right now at the moment is you have to go to tradingview.fundednext.com. First of all, if you want to buy a challenge and you want to get 8% discount on your challenge right now through our link, click on this link right here, bit.ly funded next limitless, and then click on the link and then sign up. Choose a stellar program. It's one of the easier, the better ones in my personal opinion. So click on that link, and then once you have your account set, it doesn't matter if it's a challenge, it doesn't matter if it's a funded account, you can then go to tradingview.fundednext.com and boom, yes sir baby, you can log in right there. Super nice. I really like that. No more MetaTrader if you don't have to. Not necessary. All right. The reason why I trade on MetaTrader for, you know, these prop firms is because you have to. And if you don't have to, then this is the way to go. Like, it's a big thing, man. Good stuff. Didn't expect anything else. Perfect timing. Thank you, Funded Next. Very fantastic. All right. Let's talk about gold, G's. Let's type it in right now. Let's go over the gold chart. Currently, we're dropping. We have been coming down right here. You see that the dollar reclaimed itself back into the range of yesterday. All right. We saw that yesterday's range. We saw that rejection from that range right there. And what we knew was that if you started to push back into that range right here, that it's of course gonna negatively affect gold right here, right? We started to drill our way back up here. We broke that initial resistance again, potentially now reclaiming this as support. And if the dollar holds up and it starts going back towards the top of the range, then gold is potentially going to drop more. So that retest of the dollar will be very interesting for us, because we don't have any news events or whatever we have to worry about. A retest of this resistance, turning this into support, potentially looking for the top of the range again, might give us a setup for gold as well, which is going to be kind of interesting. All right. So we have this big trend. We talked about this big trend yesterday. The trend is your friend until it's no longer your friend. All right. Until the end of the band, or whatever the case it is, right? We break down and we started to just push down further here. However, yesterday, all right, and it shows once again how important it is to be patient. We had that Nasdaq one, and the Nasdaq also eventually started to come back up again. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, we had this beautiful range on the Nas. We have this particular zone right there, and we did initially tap into the fixed POC. We held above it, and we did came back towards the highs here as well for the Nasdaq. Gold did something similar yesterday, and it just shows once again how important it is sometimes to just be extremely patient. And it's not always about the now, enter now, the buy or sell now. Sometimes it's you being patient and waiting for the right move to happen here. You could see that this range that we were talking about yesterday, you had this smaller range and we had this bigger range, right? We utilized the smaller range, you utilized the fixed profile, and look at that, man. We did came back, we did hold there, and we did came back up again all the way until the highs were taken out. The previous daily highs were taken out, because if you utilize the LTA concept, session breaks, and New York Stock Exchange indicator, you could see that this was the previous daily high right there, and this was taken out. And then after the previous daily high was taken out, we started to reverse. We started to reverse aggressively, and we even broke that trend. We came back below the Sunday open, right? The Sunday open is at 25.12, and right now we are trading below it. And it's Wednesday, and that means, in my opinion, we're looking at potential bearish continuation. I think the high is set on a Tuesday, and I would be surprised if the Wednesday set a new high. I think that we're looking potentially at, right now, continuation. I mean, the dollar looks good. Reclaim looks strong. If the dollar holds up here, yeah, then I just see gold pushing back up. And again, you guys know it. What's currently happening on the 4 hour? Let's clean it up here. What we're currently are seeing is that we're just developing a bigger range, okay? And we're developing a bigger range heading into the weekly closure and monthly closure, all right? This is usually not, in my opinion, a good sign. I think this is more leaning towards potentially bearish momentum here. I'm not here to predict the bigger play yet, but I'm here to anticipate internally for a potential bigger play later on. And if you go one more time to the seasonality, and I cannot emphasize this enough, how important it is to take this in consideration. And I don't want you to just take this for granted and think, oh, this is just 100% going to happen, because we do not have a magic ball, right? We cannot just, confirm with 100% certainty that we are going to be bearish in September, right? That potentially the rate cut is just going to be priced in already, and that it's time to sell the news when that happens, right? When this rate cut actually comes into play here. All right, but what we can do is, you know, utilize probabilities and pull a lot of things together, okay? 91% of the time here in September, in the last 10 years, gold was bearish. It's by far the worst month of the year, and it has been in the last 10 years. You know, that's pretty significant right here, whereas December has been the best month for gold on average as well here. The best month for gold in September was in 2016, 0.5%. That was the best month in the last 10 years. So do take that in consideration, but don't take it for granted, okay? Very important. Now, when it comes back down to this bigger range, how do you trade a consolidation range? Like I said before, in order to trade a consolidation range, on the bigger scale, we need to go to the lower scales. We need to go to the lower time frame, and we need to start looking for ranges on the lower time frame, right? That's the way to do it. That's what we talked about before. When you're ranging on a bigger scale and we're not trending upwards anymore, because you're potentially creating either a bigger distribution schematic or an accumulation schematic for further upside. Regardless of that, when you're in a range, the ideal case scenario will be to start trading the smaller ranges internally, right? The internal ranges are what matters here. So just one more time to take it as an example. I mean, yesterday was that example, right? Yesterday was indeed this example, right? You saw this zone, you tapped into the fixed POC, and you started to come up here. You saw this high, right? You created the smaller range, you tapped into the fixed value low, right there, and you start selling off, right? You saw this smaller range before pump, or the bigger range, and you saw that we came into the low and we tapped into the fixed value high right there, right? So you have all these smaller ranges that you can constantly utilize whenever you are in a bigger range. We can take it a little bit deeper, a little bit further back. We have this range right here. You can see it also when we had this range right there. We had the fixed POC and we tapped into the fixed value area low. We had this range right there. I'm not sure if this range did it. I don't think this range did it. No, we didn't came back to this range here, but we had this range, for example, right there. We tapped into this zone. Where did we tap into? On a bigger scale right here. We have this bigger zone here. We tapped into the fixed value area low. And these are big moves, man. These are big moves. This is a 180 pip move, right? This is a even bigger move. This is also a not that big of a move, like a 70 pip move, right? This is a 120 pip move. So you can work internally with all these ranges here. So the only thing that I would say now is the ideal case scenario will be is to understand the trend. We understand that we just, you know, utilize this profile here. Okay, that's one layer. We have been breaking this right now. So we're obviously breaking trend, right? We're still in a bigger range, so we can still not confirm a downtrend yet at all. I'm not saying that a break of a trend is a downtrend. That's just not reality. All right, we need to break this low. We need to really start coming down and continuing to just drive and sell up from there. All right, that's the way to then, you know, confirm a downtrend. But for now, what we can do is we can take this to the internals and we can look at it day by day at the moment, and we can start seeing, okay, what was the most important level of yesterday? All right, of last week, sorry. That's where LTA constants comes into play, right? That's the previous weekly POC at 25.03. So that's a crucial level to take in consideration. All right, we're trading below that. All right, we're also trading below the Sunday open, and we're trading below the previous Sunday open, the Sunday open of the previous week. These are all bearish signs after swiping the highs of Monday, setting in the top on a Tuesday, selling off on a Wednesday, and now potentially, you know, selling off aggressively right here. So how do we trade this? How do we approach gold right now while it's tanking? Of course, looking for any type of retracement. You can say on the lower time frames, we now have kind of this zone to worry about, but at the same time, what I like to do is I like to utilize ranges. You guys know it. That's the best way to approach it, in my opinion, is to be very patient. Wait for the range, wait for price to pull back, and price can pull back. It pulls back all the time. And if it doesn't pull back, Just have to be patient, man. Have to be patient and wait for, you know, a further response on the left side here, okay? Especially if you look for continuation plays on the 5 minute, then that's what you want to see. Based upon what I showed you previously, you know, this is just constantly happening, right? A pullback into a previous area of consolidation, and then, you know, the retracement. That's usually where you find the best trades, similar to what has happened yesterday as well as the day before and the day before that as well here. All right, another layer which we can look at is, because we understand that we are still in a bigger range overall. Let me put on a new tune real quick. There we go. We are in a bigger range overall, right? So the best thing that we can also do is to go a little bit more to the left and start looking at the swings, right? And the most important swings that I can find right now here are, you know, things like right here. All right, we have a couple of swings that I think are important here, but also fixed levels that I think are crucial if price continues to drop. All right, that doesn't mean necessarily we're just gonna completely break the trend and we're just gonna dump and dump and dump and dump. We might be just holding up in this 1 hour range, right? Where this is the low and this is the high. So if we get to the bottom, at the bottom of that range, and we get into the lower levels, then we might be even looking for a bounce from this zone coming back into the range again as well. So I'm actually looking for longs and shorts. I'm not only looking for shorts. If we start moving up right now, I will look for short continuations down. But if we are completely down in the middle of that or at the bottom of that area of consolidation, then obviously I'm gonna look for the confirmations needed to see if we can potentially hop into a particular bounce from this particular level right there. All right, super important to see if you can look for setups around these particular levels. Would not be surprised if you might even do that and particularly just pull back and continue to sell off, either into the smaller range, sell off, or we bounce and we continue to drop, find some of its support and just looking for a bounce and just start consolidating on a bigger scale, on a smaller scale, of course, just moving up and moving down, right? That's the thought process behind it. So we can work with the internals today and not with the externals yet, because the internals now are just where we are currently sitting at. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. If you go back towards the 30 minute, I quickly also want to look at the previous week one more time, because we do have a lot more information of the previous week as well. And you know, we're even trading below the previous week very low. So yeah, we're definitely on the, you know, we're definitely on the bearish side today, G's. We're definitely on the bearish side. And even if we pull back towards the 2503 and we can break it, then of course I'm also definitely willing to look for sells right there on the lower time frame. Wait for sells and look for particular continuations until we're getting to the bottom of the range right here. Okay, so 2503, something in that matter would be nice if you can pull back into that level and then continue to sell off right now, as we're practically below all the major critical levels at this particular moment. But if we continue to drop, that's the conclusion. If we continue to drop, yeah, then I'm definitely going to see what will happen when we reach the bottom of that range. And if there is a chance that we might be just looking for a bounce here, because I just doubt that we're just going to continue to drive all the way down today already, when we have so much more news coming tomorrow, the GDP, and on a Friday the PC price index. It's usually the bigger news events that you know, that become the catalyst of a big move for gold breaking outside of the range before we actually could talk about, or can talk about, the bigger play, right? The bigger move that we are looking forward to. Okay, so what are the best scalping buys for me? Yeah, lower, man, lower, not right here. I want to see price come lower, and if it pulls back, then I think the 2503 is a beautiful level to start looking for sells. That or the internal range, but I think we're pretty aligned there, to be honest with you. I think we're pretty aligned with what we're forming now, and that is kind of this trend on the lower time frame, this 5 minute trend with a strong weekly level, 2503. If we manage to pull back and we get rejected there, then everything is possible from there, man. Especially from that retracement. So yeah, I would love to see retracement. Or if you don't see retracement, we just wait and see what happens around this structure right there. Kicking it off with this level here at 24.88 and then the 24.83. These are my two internal levels that I'm looking for. And this is much more of an external level, a weekly level, the 25.03. So we're kind of hopping around here, but at some point we're going to get either there and we're going to see if there is bounce potential, or we are already going to come up and if there is short continuation potential. That's what we're looking for, okay? Right there. Marco says, check the streams on the trading floor. We are printing all. Amazing to see that. Incredible stuff here. And also beautiful to see that the guys are killing it here. I saw Mike also taking a beautiful trade yesterday. So yeah, man, a big shout out to the guys in our VIP right now, crushing it. Let me check Marco. Stream is full. We'll check you later on. Mike. Shout out to Mike. Mike has been killing it as well tremendously. Absolutely incredible stuff. If we go to the wins of the LTA wins right now, Mike has only been trading for like what, 6 months right now. And he's picking it up. We have been sending him our private indicators that we have been building. He has been utilizing them. And so far, he has been absolutely killing it. And what I wanted to say to our group here, to our VIP, for everyone watching here, is the following. I am very, very happy with how you guys are putting in the work. And actually, when you're, showcasing a trade, a winning trade in this case, explaining your thought process behind it. It's super important, and it's really amazing to see that you guys are stepping up and putting in the work. So Rich, one day, man, you are killing it. I love your activity, and I love the explanation as well. Keep it up, man. Ali as well for oil. Was a clean setup. Very, very nice. All the confidence that are necessary. Vanny, incredible stuff. I love how you approach it right here as well. Utilizing the baskets, of course, right? The currency baskets. So incredible stuff, Vanny. Tony, you too, man. Kareem, you too, man. Everyone is stepping up. I love it. Incredible stuff. Marco, my first swing trade, hold it from Friday, LTA 127R. Beautiful, man. Mike, a little bit more explanation, Mike, okay? I know you're trading in the trading view, in the trading floor, you're crushing it. And you're one of the OGs now. I love it. But these guys are absolutely putting in the work here, and all our guys can learn from it. So, yeah, man. Keep it up, G's. Keep it up. LTA VIP, keep it up. Incredible. Joelyn, you too. You too. Really, really nice here. Okay. We have 6 days left before the LTA yearly membership closes down. All right. 6 days left. So you have the opportunity within the next 6 days to join us in the last phase here before we close down for 1 or 2 months before we're reopening again. Okay. Somewhere later in Q4. So if you want to get into the VIP LTAconcepts.ai, you can click on the link right there. Go through it. 6 days, 4 hours, and 18 minutes left for our yearly membership. All right. If you want to join the fam in the trading floor and get access to our lecture series, of course. So yeah, dollar looks strong, and gold it's time to pull back into the 25.03. If we pull back into the 25.03, I am all in for short continuations. All in for short continuation. Of course, with the dollar giving us the right confirmation as well. And if you do pull back, the 24.88 is the first level. I would say, okay, now we are potentially at the bottom of the bigger range. It is always important to take in consideration right here, right? I do not count this as the bigger range. I count this as the bigger range right now. That means that we're in the bottom of the range, and then I expect somewhat of a bounce. So I'm only looking for longs right there, whereas right now I am only looking for shorts right there. Right? The reason why I'm looking for shorts right there is because I think that the dollar is holding up very well. But if the dollar pushes up and it gets to the top, right, to previous resistance, and gold is dumping further towards the lows here, yeah, then I think that we might be holding up in this, you know, in this overall bigger range yet until the news comes tomorrow and Friday. We might leave the range or expand from the range from that moment here. We'll see then if it's up or down, or if the bigger play is going to happen here. But yeah, I'm quite neutral in the range, up or down. It does not really matter too much. But in this case, I prefer, you know, pricing pulling back and then continue to drive up here. And the reason why is because I want to see gold, the dollar coming down, testing this, pushing price of gold up, and then looking for that push back into the range, because a reclaim of a previous range is always a strong sign. If the dollar does that and it reclaims a previous range, then it's usually a good sign, and it usually tends to hold support here and then continue to drive up. So, you know, definitely more on the bearish side for gold. And we talked about it yesterday. We said gold might indeed set in the reversal tomorrow. And, you know, it's very important that we stay above the Sunday open. And if we don't, and if we lose that, bye-bye for gold in the short term. Yes, sir. Matthias says, hi for the Nasdaq. I was thinking about a retracement toward the Sunday open. So the Nasdaq, we talked about the Nas yesterday as well. I think the Sunday open is still a scenario, is still a potential thing to look at. I mean, we talked about it here. We just got rejected very aggressively from a key level, and I show you which level we got rejected from. So the Sunday open yesterday was already the target, actually. The bounce was indeed there eventually. Took some time here. That's why patience is so important, man. So important to stay patient. If you're gonna get into the right setups. We got rejected from the previous week very low. All right, the previous week very low is where we got rejected from. It's the previous week, and if you think you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, then make sure that you are downloading the ebook. Right, the ebook is free of charge completely. It helped a lot of traders out there with setting up the foundation, getting familiar with how to use the tool that you always use. Right, the fixed range bar profile, the fixed POC, the very low, and all the other tools that we utilize. But most importantly, this tool right here, and it explains exactly how important it is. And you can see that on the Nasdaq. If you look at the previous weekly, very low, which is there right now perfectly. We don't need our indicator. There we go. You can see that we got rejected from that level twice yesterday. So yeah, the only way I would look for longs, my friend, is either we come back down lower first, or we start breaking above it and we just trade it further. So it's just kind of like your continuation play. That's what I would look for in the Nasdaq. We will see how the US Open opens, right? We always have a backup plan. Yeah, Mrs. Lorenzo, Nasdaq worked yesterday. Cheers. Yeah, eventually gold worked out better. Gold worked out better. Okay. And the moment I go to the Nasdaq, everyone is like, Lorenzo, go to gold. Sometimes we have to go to the Nasdaq if gold is not what I want to do. If I don't see something clean on gold, then I will look at the Nasdaq as an alternative setup. It's just what it is. And yeah, that's just the way to go. But later on yesterday, gold played out better. It did play out better. Nasdaq came up, it worked out, but gold came out on top, I have to say here. It did eventually eventually came up better here. It did held into the fixed value area. So what's the fixed very high? The fixed POC, my bad. No, sorry. Oh, the fixed very high. Yeah, the fixed very high. Yeah, the fixed very high. It did came up in the fixed very high, and it bounced eventually from it here. You saw we came back down a bit further, and you see how powerful the tool is, right? To look for the pullbacks, and then you have entry models to work with. Yeah, in this case we did came up and expanded further, and this was also the Sunday open. It was also the Sunday open, so obviously the Sunday open is always a important level of support as well. That's for sure. That's for sure. I think golds look very nice for sells if we get back up to the 500s. I agree, my friend. That's what we're waiting for. Yeah. Preferably the previous weekly POC here. Preferably weekly POC. The reason why is because of the... Yeah, it's the previous week. It's where most volume has been traded. If you break below that and we find a resistance there, then I do think that that's a beautiful level. It's also simply just the previous support turning into resistance, right? If you want to look at it from this angle as well. In this case, the previous weekly POC aligned really nicely with the previous support. Why? Because we bounced from it so many times beforehand already. So it's kind of your resistance layer. So yeah, 2503 will be the ideal case scenario if you pull back into that level. And even if we break back further, right? I'm still interested to see what will happen around 2506, for example, as well. But we have definitely a couple levels to work with. We just need to wait patiently for price on the lower time frame, like let's say on the 5 minute, to push up a little bit further before we can look for the continuation to the downside here. And if price continues to drive down without a single pullback, you know, we will look at either the 2488 or the 2483, but not lower than that, because the moment we start breaking below that, we will probably break out of the bigger range, and the bigger range is set on the 1 hour time frame, and that's what we're looking at right here, right? So we don't want to break below that whatsoever. We want to hold above 2483 and just complete this consolidation, right? That consolidation. That's kind of what we are looking for. So yeah, let's stick on a 5 minute. What I love the most are ranges, man. Ranges, especially when gold is consolidating. When gold is consolidating on a bigger scale, it's so hard for traders to adapt to consolidation. So that's my realization as well here. Sorry for my voice, I've been screaming all weekend. If the trend is bullish, right, and we continuously drive upwards, everyone is like making money, right? This is like easy money for people. It's like, oh, I buy and I'm bullish. And then they're making money here. And then the moment they start losing money is when the range starts to come in. Because, for example, let's stick on a 1 hour, for example, right here. Or let's zoom it in a little bit. Right? When guys are going long and they're long biased, right? They're looking at longs and they're like, oh yeah, I'm looking at longs, I'm gonna start making money here. But then the moment a range starts to form like this, where we're not moving, that's when guys clearly are stuck in that long bias, and then price doesn't go their way, and then it's like, oh shit, and then they start losing their money again, right? And then they're losing the money that they made from the whole swing. They lose it in the range. They lose it in the consolidation range. And I've been there as well. So that's why I'm saying it. It all comes from personal experience. And what the best, realization is to just start to recognize when it's time to start thinking about ranges and when it's time to start thinking about, oh, we're trending here. We're looking at continuation trends before we are moving into somewhat of a accumulation range or a distribution range on the lower time frame. That's the idea. That's the thought process behind it. It's the recognition of trending or consolidating. And if you can do that correctly, you will not just maybe win more, but you will avoid a bunch more losses. And sometimes, that's a W. Losing less is a W in that matter. All right, we're pulling back already very quickly. So that's actually very nice. That's actually very nice. I do like to see that. So either the 2503 or the 2507, 2506, 2507. Like these are my three levels here to look for a potential setup here. So either this level, which is kind of this range, which is actually, you know, the ideal case scenario. It depends on the 1 hour candle. So if the 1 hour candle, let's say, comes up and it's not closed yet, then I think this makes a lot of sense here, because you do want to close the 1 hour or 4 hour candle below the previous weekly POC. You don't want to see that closure above here, because then you might flip it into support again, and then, you know, you're gonna tap into this one, you get into a short, and then it bounces off from here and it starts going up. So it's kind of like a dangerous area, but this is a nice level now to look for. Let's let's see. Range by range, and we'll figure it out from there. All right. Strong push though. Strong push already. That's quick. That's very fast here. What's the time? 8:30. Okay, let's see. The 8:30 reversal. Let's see if this is something. Dollar slowly coming down here. Slowly in rejection mode right now at the moment. So that retest is where it's at. We want to see that retest of the dollar. And it's important to see that retest of the dollar before making a move for gold, because of the way the dollar is, gold is moving up right now. The correlation with the dollar and between gold has been really good though. Right? The dollar index is showing that as well. Correlation has been really good so far between gold and between the dollar as well here. So I'm actually very pleased with that. Because it's nice to understand what the dollar is doing and then look at gold as well. Please share the dollar basket. Yes, sir, my friend. I will share with you right now. Get in the trading chat. All right. Get into the free trading chat. All right. Get there and then add it to your watch list. Add it to your watch list from there. Okay. I see a question from Rose right now. It's a question about books. All right, very interesting. It's actually a very important one. What trading books have you read and which ones were the best? So I read a bunch of trading books. To be honest, I listened to the audiobooks. I'm not really a big fan of reading them. I listen to them. All right, that's my way of adapting information. But a book is a book, right? Usually every book that's out there that has some credibility is merged into an audiobook as well at the same time. And I think that, you know, you can try to figure out a strategy in a book, except the LTA Concepts ebook, of course, different story, right? Usually mindset is king, right? Mindset is, I think, why you want to read a book. So if you want to read a book in regards to, you know, trading specifically, I think the best books are related to like trading psychology, trading mindset, all right? And then it comes back to Mark Douglas. I think that he has one of the most famous books, if you haven't never read that book here. One is called Trading in the Zone. The other one is called The Disciplined Trader. Then you have The Psychology of Trading by Brett Steenbarger. I would say check out these three books first. Atomic Habits, maybe by James Clear as well. If you check out these four books, you will, you get somewhere. You get somewhere. But I think that reading books, especially in trading, is usually for psychology. I think that's the thought process behind it here. When it comes down to trading and actual trading, it comes down to the charts. It comes down to your experience. Yeah. Mariana says, Best Loser Wins. Great book. There you go. There you go. There you go. There we go. Wait. Gold's pushing, right? Gold is pushing up. Already, we're getting close now to that level. Let's see if it's worth it, or if we have to look a little bit higher. For sure, we're gonna get somewhat of a response from it. I am aware of the previous weekly value low as well. But we came into this much bigger play now, and yeah, it's kind of that what we're doing now is we're kind of looking into that trend that we were talking about all the time here. It's kind of that rejection here, and then there's always somewhat of a retest, but I would not neglect this trend too whatsoever. We're going to make it a bit smaller. And we have seen already multiple 4-hour candle closures below it. Very minor bottom wick on 1 hour as well. I really like that though, but stops have to be bigger, right? I do really like it though. Like a nice 2-to-1. Previous POC, if you do get a nice confirmation on the lower time frame, I'm all in for it. Let's see. Yeah, I want to see the dollar tapping into this zone. Last thing I want is the dollar breaking down, of course. It would not be as ideal. But yeah, we will potentially see a somewhat of a retest there. And that's what we have to bet on. Also, when looking at gold and the previous week POC, it's just a strong level. So it's a very aggressive move. Chico says 2506 is a strong level. Yes, we know that's a critical level as well. The fix is very low. I'm looking here, right? It's still a big stop. It's like an 80 pip stop loss, right? If you want to go for the highs here. But it's also like a 150, 160 pip target. Lorenzo is saying that Vantage Next is on TradingView. Yeah, it is awesome. It's really awesome. Like I'm so used to. So for example, for futures and stuff right now, we know like already, right? It's you know, they have a pretty good portal, I have to say, overall, and I do like it. It's similar. It's like TradingView integrated as well here, but that's futures, right? CFD props usually don't have that. So the fact that Vantage Next released this currently is a big deal in my opinion. Is a big deal, and I'm a big fan of it. So yes, that's why, man. That's why we're only working with the best. Simple. That's it. Everything that you need is already there, is already integrated as well. So everything that's tradable right here is already integrated. So you can just add everything to the list, or whatever you trade, you can add that to the list. And you only have to personalize your dashboard once, but this, you know, takes you a couple minutes and then it's done. And then you have a portal like you have on TradingView. So you have to go to tradingview.vantagenext.com to get access to that dashboard right there. And you need a challenge or a funded account, of course. So yeah, man, better get your funded account now. Geez, click on that link, get 8% off, and start trading in TradingView. And forget about MetaTrader. Forget about Windows 95, Windows XP. Forget about that old shit. All right, it's time to upgrade right now. Let's go. Prop Nimmer says, can we sell gold now? You can sell gold now, my friend. You can sell gold right now. I'm gonna wait a little bit. You can sell right now. Okay, we tapped into the PC. Was obviously a joke, guys, just so you know. But we tapped into the PC. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. And yeah, it was a nice push. It was a good push here. It was a 100 pip push from the 830 level here. We have the hourly closure just behind us now. So this is what I mean with the importance of the hourly candle here. And that is that you want to see the rejection internally happening either around the 2503, so around like right now currently. And I think that we're going to experience particularly, we might even see rejection here. Let's see if it makes sense here. But you know, the only thing is that I would say the stops have to be a little bit bigger, and the reason why is because if we shoot through and we get to the 2506, then that might also be a scenario, right, where we just roll over if our anticipation right now is bearish. and we're looking for that bearish continuation. The 2506 is also a level here. If you enter from like 2507, then your stops can be an easy 50 pips, right? Maybe like a 40 pip stop with a 180 pip upside. So that's a significant difference, right? Whereas if we enter from here, the previous QPC, and we are short biased, then your stops still have to be there. You know what I mean? Stops still have to be there. And, you know, then you will have, yeah, I think like a 70 pip stop and a 140 pip target. So that's 2 to 1. What I do like though is that the 1 hour right now has been in a rejection mode here. And what I also like is that we have a very steep wick, and that could result into what we call a wick fill as well. So that particular wick fill might actually occur if price rolls over. If you see this flip, then there is a chance that you might just follow through as well here. That's another alternative, but that's a little bit trickier because of the risk to reward. So I'm gonna patiently look at the 5 minute right now, see how we develop around the previous weekly POC, the 5 and 15 minute. And if we do see somewhat of a rejection and or closure below here, then I know what I'm looking for shorts. And if we just continue to drive up, hey, then 25.07 all the way. We're already doing it. Damn. All right, didn't expect that one. Wow. All right, back into the range, baby. Back into the smaller range here. A lot of volume, I like it. Lorenzo, what about a bullish scenario? A bullish scenario for me would be just, you know, either coming down more, like we said before, right? You're getting towards these levels to look for a bounce, or we break the highs. And do you guys remember yesterday's range from the Nasdaq? Do you guys remember that range where we had this part yesterday, right? We had this so we had this, right? We had this range. And we started to come up and we broke the highs. And then this range was the fixed POC and that held, right? That held. So I would look for something similar on gold if that's the case, right? I want to break the highs, consolidate, come down, manipulate, and then pull back and look for continuation to the upside. That will be my bullish scenario. Obviously, it's a major zone. We have to pay the most attention towards the 2508, 2507. And the dollar is not there yet. We're still not waiting for that retest. We're still waiting for that retest on the dollar. Obviously, this is what's pushing price up for gold right now. It's that rejection of the dollar here. And this was the previous low on the dollar index. If you go to the custom basket, then you know we're in that range. And this was the previous support. So that retest of previous support, potentially looking for continuation following that trend. right, on the dollar. That's the way, that's the sell signal in my opinion, is that either layer. If you do come back below the previous POC, then I'll still remain bearish. I still will look for that short setup and target the 24.88 as well here. So it does not really matter that much. The ideal case scenario would be that we're looking for something like this with the right confirmation. But yeah, it's one of those. And if we are bullish, then I want to see the highs getting broken, the retest getting done, and looking for the continuation to the upside. So that's the bullish case if we flip completely, but I doubt it. But hey, gold is gold, man. You never know. You never ever know. That's why we have our step-by-step plan. David Johnson says already got sells earlier and I'll buy right after. Huge day for me, done for the week. That's the right mindset, man. That's the right mindset. Couple trades and you're done. You're set. Don't have to overdo it. I completely agree with you, man. Completely agree with you. Still holding up very well. As long as the dollar is not there yet, showing any signs of a bounce, then we don't have to rush into trading gold now, selling it. Can you explain the heat map you were talking about yesterday? Yes, so we talked about the heat map a lot. And the heat map shows you exactly where the bigger orders are placed, let's say, right? And what I always say is the following. Just look at this. Look at what gold is doing right there. And we're not looking at this liquidity here, all these orders placed around. You know, we're looking at where the biggest orders are placed. And these are placed below. That's an indication, hey, that could be acting as a magnet later on. These big orders are placed there. 101, typical order that we see happening all the time. And these orders usually get removed later. They don't even get filled. They just get placed, not filled. We've seen it also a lot here. So yeah, some big orders below for gold. Previous Sunday open is doing something. Yeah, that's also another layer. We have so many levels in between that. We have the previous weekly POC. We have the previous Sunday open, the fixed very low. Like this is what we're currently seeing, but we're now seeing the fixed very low. It's the same exact level as the previous Sunday open as well here. So yeah, man. Javez says, hey Lorenzo, I signed up with Vantage with your link and I haven't got the bonus. What can I do? You should follow the steps right there. Yeah, make sure that I would ask customer support because it should be working. It should be, if you followed all the steps, it should be working perfectly. Maybe someone in the chat can help you out as well here. Sir, what's the stop loss in gold depending on where your entry is? Right now, I would say that the dollar is still pushing down a little bit more. And we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Right? I do like it. I do like it. It's important that the 1 hour candle closes below the previous weekly POC. You can enter before the 1 hour candle closure, by the way. But it's important that we are doing something like this here. Otherwise, I'm just very keen with like looking for an entry here. Stop loss above the highs, 67 pips. Maybe like 60 pips. And then target the fixed very high, which is 160 pips. So that's a really nice, clean potential scenario here. I do like this reaction. I do like the dollar setting up here. I do like the dollar holding stronger. I like all of it. So yeah, I do see potential. And then you want to get in before the potential 1 hour flip. We don't want to enter on the flip. We want to enter before the flip. That would be the ideal case scenario. So yeah, anything around here, I do see a nice confirmation. The 5 minute as well. I think it's worth it to set a short right now and to putting a stops above and then target the 2488. Yeah, I'm going for shorts here, G's. I think it's I think it's worth it. And the 1 hour close is going to be super important because you want to close below the 2503. Really want to close below here. Yeah, I really want to close below it. All right. Sells are entered now. So we're in the sell right here. I'm looking at the futures chart, so we have to kind of find an alliance here, but it's somewhat around there. Stops around there. And then I want to look for the continuation towards 2488. And the most important part is that we get into the hourly flip. That's it. So this is what we want. We want to see the hourly candle flip and close below the 2503. If we don't close below the 2503, I might exit and look for a new entry later. So yeah, we're in, G's. We're in the short gold right now. Stops are clearly above here. The fixed POC can be a protected layer if you want to have an aggressive stop. 25.9. If you want to have a conservative stop, I would say 25.11. Why is this all possible? Because the target is just bigger. That's it. Target is bigger. So that's it. Not too early to enter. No, the dollar is showing strength. We flipped the 30-minute candle. We also here have no top wick on the 30-minute candle either. We're holding up pretty well here. So it's up to you to decide if you find this too early. If you want to wait, you can also wait and wait for the 1 hour to close below the 2503. If that's the case. If you see the flip, we have a beautiful trade though. If we flip this hourly candle bearish, beautiful trade. Already in the trade? Yeah, she saw. Did you guys see me enter? Just for the other guys, did you guys see me enter? Just want to make sure that you guys are aligned. You guys saw me enter the trade, correct? Just want to make sure that people pay attention. You have to be sharp, man. You have to be sharp. yeah, stops are above the highs for me personally. And if we do break the highs, yeah, it is what it is. I think it's a good trade. I think it's a clean trade. I think it makes sense. We bounced beautifully. We tapped into the range once again. We're trading below the Sunday open. This is a lot of layers now that I think are critical. And then the dollar is holding up very well. It's gaining its momentum. And I do like the dollar. It's pushing back, specifically when the dollar is gaining back the range. Then it's just for me a particular setup where we just might say, okay, we managed to come back into the previous range, yesterday's range, and we're flipping bullish again. We're holding up very well, and gold has been responding very well to the dollar. So yeah, it's from a risk to reward standpoint a more than a 2-to-1. And I think that you can almost secure yourself a break even at 2,500. Stoner Dude says, reason behind this trade, can I explain? I would go back and check out the stream, man. A little bit earlier. You can actually rewind the stream, by the way. You can also do that. You can click and look back as well. As well. And the open is too bullish. It's very strong, that's for sure. Very strong, very strong. But at the same time, what I really like is potentially seeing us flipping this 1 hour. And if you do flip the 1 hour, you have the best possible trade. You have the best possible trade. And the hourly closure is still 31 minutes away. So, unless we get squeezed out of our position, then it is what it is. We cannot win every day. Does not waiting for a close of the 30-minute candle goes against your ebook. There is no entry models for now because we're in this range right here. I'm much more tempted to look at the alignment with the dollar and the structure itself. So for me, that's what I'm personally now looking for at the moment. Unless we do something like this. Unless we do something like this and we just get squeezed out. Damn, look at that hourly candle. Wow. Wow, that was really fast here. crazy squeeze. So hopefully the New York Stock Exchange does not push us further. Hopefully this is just one squeeze to flip. Stops are above the highs, G's. You know it. Aggressive stops are probably not taken out. If you had it at 25.09, then you're probably taken out too. Wow, crazy volatility today, Joe. Crazy volatility today. New York opened up. We've seen this. Wow, it's crazy volatility today. Right, so how do I use the fixed range warrant profile tool? You can check out the ebook, my friend. It's in the ebook. It's all mentioned in the ebook right there. What is the most risk management? Of course, risk management. Yes, never over leverage. Even on our funded account here, we're not gonna risk more than we allowed to, right? There is no need to. So you should be able to afford a loss, unless you are Mr. Bambooey, who can win 100% of the time. All right, that's then just not gonna work out here. And just because we have these 250K funded accounts, we just have to slowly scale it. That's just the reality. So yeah, it is what it is. But we are starting to creep down aggressively right now at the moment here. I think I'm gonna cut this trade and wait for further confirmation. What do you guys think? I think that's the better way to do it, G's. I see gold pushing down again to my entry point. And you might say, oh, that's not that smart. Maybe it still does it and it still flips bearish. But I mean, this is my rules. This is one of my rules here. So I'm out of the trade right now. Okay. And we did survive. We did survive the setup, the trade itself. And yeah, man, if it still flips, then incredible. But my rule is that I'm not going to just now gamble and hope for the best. With this great crazy expansion here. Why? Because we had already multiple closures above my key levels. The fixed POC, fixed very low. Multiple closures above here. 2 candle closures now. Or at least 1 closure here on a 5-minute also. Just very volatile, G's. Very volatile. I think it's better to get out of the trade with no damage. Right? Get out of the trade on break even. And reevaluate, man. That's it. If you want to stay digit, you might be lucky, but you might be not lucky, right? It might just continue to push up. You know, we're trading with a funded account. We want to make sure that we grow steadily. And if the volatility is crazy like that, I would call this like a lucky draw. So I'm out of the trade right now. Could it still flip? Well, it could. It could. But I think there are ways to look for better confirmations as well for new entries if that's the case. Right? We survived it. And risk management is the most important. The most important thing that we can utilize here. All right. So stop loss above at 25.11 was a good choice. Instead of trying to keep it small and go for the big move, the big trade. That's what helped us here survive this move here, and this crazy move, I have to say. Look at that move, by the way. Look at how this 1 hour candle just absolutely came up, smashed through our levels, and then still came back down here. So the volatility is nuts. Volatility is nuts at this moment here, and it could still flip, man. It could still flip, but I think that we still made the right path when it came down to risk management here. So crazy though, right? Yeah, we got a bit lucky as well. We sometimes need that as well, right? We need that in order to do it here. Sometimes your analysis can be on point, but there are also scenarios where you keep your stops too small and you get stopped out and price still reverses, right? It still reverses to the downside here. So always place your stop loss strategically, right? And not opportunistically, okay? If that makes sense. So strategically, not optimistically, sorry. My English. You know what I mean. Allow traders set their stop loss opportunistically, looking at the amount of money they will make, and not strategically. When is their bias invalidated? Would be so insane though if you flip bearish. Let's see. So crazy. For sure, sitting out the hourly closure. That's for sure. Waiting for the hourly candle to close here. Slimfast has no entry model, no trade. That's not always how it works. But I think if you start out, I think that's one of the better ways to get started for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. If we're kind of in a scalping scenario here on the lower time frame, then sometimes getting in aggressively is also a good move. For example, not when we're aggressively trending. I think that, you know, waiting for the right entry models is a definitely a must. So you have to put it in the right context. There are many scenarios where I feel that entry models are absolutely important. There are also scenarios where finding the right aggressive entries at some moments in time are also very beneficial. So who survived this trade? Press a press a yes in the chat. If you survived it. If you survived the squeeze, like we did. Fantastic. 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 Unbelievable squeeze. Okay, okay. Why didn't you add more entries to 25 or 10? I don't like adding and losing positions personally. It's not my style. Adding to losing positions is not my style. Adding to winning positions is my style. Adding to losing positions is not my style. Where's take profit 24.88? We enter our goal. I might. It depends on how we close here. But it's a mess. It's an absolute mess here. I'm looking at the. I will look at the 15-minute to see what happens around 25.03. Azuri says, for a 25k challenge account, should I only risk $100 per trade as a day trader because I only take one high quality setup per day? I think 0.5% is a decent start. Build it up and then scale it to maybe 1% potentially. So like depends what your risk reward is as well. I think that 0.5% is a good start, so that will be $125 a trade. I think it's a good start. Taya says, because of you, I hit stop loss. You're just a retard, bro. Imagine trading, listening to someone, and then blaming that person. Like you have a 60 IQ. You just have a 60 IQ. You can't think for yourself, bro. You can't think for yourself. The guys that are joining here and taking trades with us, all right, they just take my advice for granted and they think, okay, that might be cool, that might be something I like, that might be something I don't like. And then they make a decision, okay? Everyone else survived the trade, by the way. But at the same time, you know, you have to put in some work. So you can start taking a trade and then lose a trade and then blame somebody for it. But then you're just an absolute fucking retard. All this free value right here for you. 4 hours a day. Sorry, man. I'm on this ranging right now today. All right, that's the today here. Yeah, you see we're holding up again. So yeah, like I said before, it's very important that we close above the below the previous weekly PSC. That will be for me a re-entry potential. Because we're kind of hovering in and out. I know some guys are still in the trade, right? They're there till the end. All right, be cautious. Be cautious. We got out risk-free when we got the opportunity. So just be cautious if price continues to, to push down and up and down and up. It's just very volatile today. Very volatile. B says, do you trade London? I don't think I've ever seen you stream during London. No. I did it like a year ago. A year and a half ago, I did some London sessions, yeah. But I just like New York more. So do you think investing in a personal account profits into funded account challenges is a good idea? Yes, I think if you are able to generate profits on a personal account and you can funnel this into a funded account and you could take a challenge to become funded and get access to more capital, I do believe that that's a potentially good idea. Yeah, if the data shows you that you are capable of doing it here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, since I show mercy to beginners, G's will never say bullshit like that. Listen, man. The beginners that come here and understand, a lot of beginners have a group mindset. They come here and like 99% of the chat here has an absolute fantastic mindset. They 100% understand that you cannot win every single trade. They also understand that trade management is important. Okay. But the guys, like, we're talking to men here. We're not talking to women here. The guys that have a victim mentality that come here, right? That listen to somebody for hours, providing value, helping other people out here for free, right? I'm doing this 4 hours a day, 4 times a week for free, right? And they come here and they take a trade blindly. They don't care about the analysis. And I know what kind of type of person it is. They don't care about the analysis. They don't care about what I'm saying. They just wait and they ask buy or sell right now at the moment. I don't care about your strategy. I don't care about your approach. I don't care about your mindset. I just want to get in. And then these are the guys that then become a victim when it doesn't go in their favor. Okay. These are also the guys that when you win 8 times, they're happy. And then when you lose once, they're extremely upset as well. All right. I don't want these type of guys on my stream. I don't work for these type of guys here. So I'm here for the guys that come to learn, that come to take trades and understand why we're doing something, that are actually there to evolve as a trader. That's where I'm doing it for. So no, it's not a beginner. It's just a mindset that you need to have in order to get somewhere in life. And you either respect it or you don't respect it. It's that 1% in the chat, by the way. Everyone else is absolutely kidding it. Smarter Child says, I'm out of the trade, break even. Perfect. Good. Can we close below the 25? Kind of holding up. It's holding up in a certain manner. But at the same time, it just potentially needs to get lower. And you see if the dollar reverses and the dollar starts coming down, that starts pushing gold up. Gold is really reactive right now to what the dollar is currently doing. So by looking at understanding the dollar, I think we will have a much understanding of gold as well in the next coming hours to see if there is one more shot here. I also wanted to look at the Nasdaq as well, right? The Nasdaq is also another layer in case, but I haven't seen the Nasdaq. I haven't seen the opening yet, so we have to check it out in a second here. Reality Real says, hello sir, I've been trading for about 8 months. I've burned a lot of accounts until I found your stream. I come to check every day and I read your ebook and use your strategies. Very effective. Thank you, Reality Room. Thank you. Appreciate that, bro. Fantastic. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. So the 15 minute is actually not looking that particularly bullish right now. Still for gold. You can still see that there is room for continuation to the downside. As long as we close, in my opinion, is hourly candle below the 25.03. If you can do this, then I think that, you know, we kind of have that confirmation from the previous weekly POC that we wanted. And that also means that we want to see that 30-minute candle close below it as well and not above it as well. That would help me tremendously with like my decision making for gold, to see if it makes sense, to see if there is room for another leg towards the downside from that angle here. Risk to reward is still good, is still positive if that's the case, but that hourly candle is really going to determine if that is gonna be the case here or not. Was worth the first try. It was worth to enter slightly more aggressive, and I have to say in this case though, we put our stop loss there for a reason, right? We put our stop loss there for a reason. Strategically, we really wanted to make sure that we held above it here. We never you know broke above that 25.11 level. Hey Lorenzo, can we use your journal sheet or is it paid? No, it's free. You can click on file and then make a copy, and then you have one for yourself as well. Absolutely. Where can I find your ebook? You can find the ebook by going to Limitless Concept or LTAconcepts.ai. You can get a free copy as well. It gives you access to the 74 pages of understanding how you can draw the VAR profile. You can utilize it, when to use for what, when to use. Yeah, we have all kinds of different terminologies. The Sunday Open is an important level. We talk about the Sunday Open on the stream all the time. Yesterday was a great example about how to utilize the Sunday Open, how to, you know, utilize the previous weekly profile, right? That understands exactly in the last week where the most volume has been traded. All right, that's where we are now. We're trading below the previous weekly POC. So last week, the 25.03 was the most important level. 25.03. And that's why we might be seeing that rejection here. You know, I think that the 25.03 has something to do with this as well here. So that's why that closure below is so important. And, you know, it's a lot of information, but I'm sure that if you like reading and if you like to watch a lot of examples, trading examples in regards to how to use it properly, then I think you're going to like this a lot. It's 74 pages and it has a lot of information, and there are also entry models included indeed. So, you know, when you are a day trader and not a scalper, entry models become extremely important. And you can utilize this from page 50 onwards as well. So how do you actually take trades based upon that information? It's all in there. All right. LTA concepts.ai. Get it for free, my friend. Babylon says we are selling heavily on indices. Let's check it out. Oh yeah. We are indeed. We are indeed. So yeah, wow, okay. So major support is of course at 14,493. Not looking that strong, huh? Not looking that strong, but at the same time, we are not there yet. We are still at the bottom of that range here. If you go to the lower time frame, we still have this zone at 19,516. I'm not going to say I'm going to take a trade from there. I just want to see what price does around this level. 19,560. Rose, is this your ebook in English or also in Dutch? It's currently only in English. But when our next one comes out, I think we're going to change it to a couple more languages. Absolutely. Yeah. Spanish, English. What else? German. German is a good one. Yeah, I think if we're going to translate it in our next version, which is going to be much bigger than this version, it's going to be free as well. It's probably going to be twice as big because we have so much more things to share now than, 4 or 5 months ago. That German might be the good, might be a good one as well. Maybe Dutch, depending on the amount of Dutch people in our group. But yeah, German, Spanish, English, Hindi. We'll see, man. There's so many languages to think. If you want to do it officially, we're gonna make sure that it's gotta be done properly for sure. Let's show your chart settings. Yes, you can find it right there. Here we go. Make a screenshot and then the third one right there. And then the wicks are number 4, right? The background is this one. Cool. I think we're going to close above the previous weekly PVC. I think we're going to close above it, but we'll see. Have you taken sells on gold? Yes, we took a sell before, right at this level, but we got almost stopped out and price came back to our entry. We decided to get out of our trade, risk-free, and observe price action. Observe the current price action to see what we can do from there. I wonder what age groups are watching this stream. The biggest group is 25 to 34. 25 to 35. I believe that's the biggest group, if I'm correct. Yeah, 25 to 35. Yeah, 25 to 35. It's actually quite crazy if you look at it indeed. 25 to 35 is 34 is 40%. 35 to 44 is 16%. 45 and higher is 5%, 6% around. And then 18 to 24 is around 28%. So we still have a lot of young boys here as well. And it's 92% male. 92% male dominated, all right? 7% female right here. Females as well, 25 to 34 and 35 to 44. Kind of interesting. Trading is a man's world, that's for sure. But a lot of women that I know in our group are doing actually very good. They're doing very well. They tend to be more patient than the average guy, and that's in most cases better. Not always. Sometimes you're too patient, too careful. It's always not that good. But in most cases, they're a little bit more patient, so they get wrecked. Not as much as men. Joelyn is a great example. Joelyn is a beautiful example in our group. She's doing great. Love it. All right, we closed above though. So this is definitely not on the bearish side for me personally. If we manage to close an hourly candle above the previous POC here, then I do think that we're holding up very, very well here, at this current moment. So yeah, if you are still in position right now from our trade, that you're literally at entry, literally at where we entered when we took a short initially. So you still have the possibility to get out of the trade, but it's up to you to decide if you align with that. Always make your own decision here. This is holding up very well, okay? It's holding up very well, and I think that currently what we're looking at is a potential turnaround. If not, setting in the bottom at 830 and holding up, closing an hourly candle above the previous weekly POC. Yeah, that's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. Gold is holding up pretty well. Okay, so we have that bounce officially now from the 24.98. We managed to close above this level as well here. So the question is now, okay, if shorts are not the answer, then what are long scenarios? I'm not 100% there yet with longs either. So it's kind of like we're in the middle. What I see is this. I see this range. I just want to see us breaking above here. If that's the case, then let's see if we can manage to just look at something like this, right, for longs. And if shorts still come into play here, then the most reliable short to take is first waiting for an hourly candle to close below the 24.503. So now we're in the middle. We're in the middle of the initial rejection here, and then they're also, you know, kind of above a major key level as well. So was worth a try, was worth a trade for sure. Anticipating on the hourly flip, we almost even flipped, but we didn't. We came back and closed the buffer, so that's pretty strong. It's pretty strong to me, right? We're looking at gold now at the moment, especially when looking at the way we're holding up here. So yeah, longs, highs and lows. Like I said, if you are in a bigger range overall in the 1 hour, longs and shorts are in my opinion both reasonable. The moment we start trending, of course, there's only one way to go, and that's looking for longs and really following the trend here. Yesterday, the only thing that I was interested in was longs, not shorts at all. Now we're kind of breaking that trend. So you could say, okay, shorts might be setting up. We might be getting into shorts, but at the same time, we're not in a bearish trend yet, right? We're still in a bigger area of consolidation. So when that happens, I just tend to just go to the lower time frame, wait for price to respond from any of these ranges that are formed, and then trade the expansion and retracement to look for either continuation. All right, something in that manner. So we saw that yesterday. We've seen it there. You consolidated, you expanded, you retraced. We've seen it there. 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 You see it all the time in these type of swings, constantly happening right here. So you could have longed here, you could have shorted there, right? You could have longed here, you could have shorted there. So there are a lot of ways where you could start looking at longs and shorts when you're in a bigger range. Ajab says, ma'am, I'm done for the day, Lorenzo. Up 4% on the day. Finally, after a major losing streak, 2 months. Would really like to keep the confidence up, but I see you tomorrow. G. Nice. Congratulations. Well done. See you tomorrow. Let's see what the group is doing here. Let's see if Marco, my man, shout out to you, my friend. Let me quickly shout Marco out. Marco, well done, my man. Great Euro Japanese yen. Paris and the Euro, I see. Well, it has been tanking super aggressively, so. Well done, bro. Well done. Let's see what Kellog is doing. Let's see what the other guys are doing. We have a couple guys here that are constantly putting in the work, and you have to absolutely respect that. Kellog, one of the hardest working guys I know in our group. Incredible. Currently sitting at the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. Yeah, shout out to Kellog, man. Good job. And then we have Joelyn, our woman, who's also putting a lot of work in the British pound against the Canadian dollar. So as you guys can see, we're also trading a lot of currencies, and the reason why, because we have a very specific strategy for currencies, and it has to do with the currency baskets. The currency baskets are built right here to understand exactly how strong and how weak a currency is, and in this case you can see clearly that the baskets are showing us that we are, in this case, for example, very weak with the euro, right? And we're looking pretty strong with the New Zealand dollar. So you can see that the New Zealand dollar is moving up. Bullish, has been trending upwards. The euro has been trending downwards. And this is the euro baskets. It's a custom formula. We have shared this right now in the traders chat. Okay, so you will have access to it right here. If you go into the traders chat right there, I think I will post it one more time for you guys. If you guys want to have access to this basket itself, you can practice and start looking at it if you're interested in trading currencies as well here. Okay, and has a seriously high win rate. Seriously high win rate when combining it with how we're combining it, and that is LTA concepts right here, right? So it's in the traders chat. You can get it. You get access to all these baskets, and you think, why do I need that? Well, it's a formula in TradingView, and maybe you don't know about it. But the formula is, for example, the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, the euro against the New Zealand dollar, the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar, all combined into one chart. But that's what TradingView does. It uses that and it creates one chart out of it. And that's the basket you need. And if you can then confirm strength and weakness, you can confirm for sure, for a fact, that the euro against the New Zealand dollar is for sure bearish. Okay, that's the way to look at it. So you see guys like Joelyn, she's trading gold as well, but also a lot of currencies similar to Kellogg and similar to Marco. And I'm very proud of them. Very proud of them. Very, very great to see. So get it? You don't have to create them yourself. You can just copy and paste the basket and integrate this whole basket into your watch list, and then you have it for yourself as well. Very, very useful. And like I said, if you would now go to the, let's say, euro against the New Zealand dollar, it should be very, very bearish. All right? It should be very bearish. And look at the euro against the New Zealand dollar. Absolutely tanking. So if you can spot strength and if you can spot weakness, voila. You can get into beautiful trades, and then you have LTA concepts, and then every day you will see that price potentially, you know, pulls back into your levels, and then you can find your setups, you find your entries, and you can get a beautiful trade. For example, what was a beautiful trade? The retest of the Sunday Open, right? The break of the Sunday Open right here on a Tuesday. Yesterday, you broke below the Sunday Open, you retested the Sunday Open, and the moment you broke it, we sold off. We sold off super aggressively. So that's what we're doing now in the group, all right? B says, Lorenz, will you enter another trade on gold since the 1 hour candle was closed? What do you see? If so, do you see a sell or a buy? I just talked about it. FX Sniper says we're buying gold back to 25.30 and seeing new all-time highs. Yeah, this closure above the previous QPC is a reason to get out. If you were still in the trade, that was definitely a reason to get out of the trade, risk-free. Absolutely. So what I think we're gonna wait for, what I think could be happening here is that we have now kind of this range. We had this little, you know, reversal here at 8:30, massive reversal actually. Came down, tapped into it, and just, you know, closed above the previous QPC, which is a major level. And Zoe TV says, yo, what's your record on this new funded account? I think you're the guy that asked that yesterday as well, correct? I think you asked this yesterday as well. We're up in profit, that's all that matters. So what we need to see is we need to see the break, in my opinion, above the highs, retrace, look for continuation up. Okay. Hello, first of all, thank you for showing us everything we have to know. Why are you not trading Euro USD? Because we don't want to overcomplicate it. I think that if I start going to the commodities and I start trading gold and I go to the Nasdaq, I kind of think that that's more than enough. And the problem is, if I start also integrating Forex through the YouTube live, it's gonna become a complete mess. You know, people are gonna say, what about gold? Other people are gonna say, what about the Nasdaq? Other people are gonna say, look at this pair and this pair and this pair. And before you know it, we're looking at 10 different things at the same time. Okay? Eugene says, you missed the previous wiki very low, where it reacted from. I didn't miss it, I saw it, but I was short biased, not long biased at the time. So yeah, I think it's better to focus, and like we recently started to integrate like the Nasdaq as well as like our alternative, like our second option. And I think that's how we can do it. If you're really interested in trading with us every single day in the trading floor, catching the bangers with our group, and you're actually interested in learning how to trade Forex, we have a really good strategy for it. And it's just not as easy to just, you know, drop on YouTube when going over everything. It will become a complete mess. So, you know, we have to focus a bit more, whereas in our trading floor, we have the room to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more versatile, all right? So if you want to get access to that information, then the VIP is for you here, all right? It explains exactly in the lecture series what we do, how it works. You can get access to it by clicking on the link right here. It's 6 days left before we close for around 1 or 2 months. And we do this on a continuous basis, all right? And you can click on that link here and then get access to our group. And before you know it, you're trading with us in the trading floor. You can do the test to see if you are capable, right? If you know exactly what we're talking about. And we prefer you to take the test before you get into the trading floor, because then we're all on the same page, right? That's the test that you can do. And this is the start, right? The first question, and then it becomes harder and harder. 33 questions in the first test and 50 questions in the second test. Okay, so that will help tremendously. You see guys passing it, so shout out to you guys for passing the test here. It's something that I recommend to do in the weekends, but shout out to Alex. Nice certificate, my friend. Looking good. So yeah, 6 days left. This is the moment to get in, or wait a couple more months. One of those. All right. That's it. Handsome says, are we making profit today? I hope so. What do you think? Like, we'll find out. We'll see. Says, don't forget the news in 12 minutes. The crude oil inventories are usually not that effective for gold. Not as effective for gold. Lorenzo, no trading days equal to profitable day. Well, it's definitely equal to, or not equal to, a losing day. That's for sure. That's for sure. But like I said before, I think that risk management is by far the most important tool in trading. I cannot emphasize this enough. being defensive is sometimes the better play, and it might look like you're missing out a lot on a lot of things, but in the long term, like, it will pay off. It will pay off. We could have said, for example, right now, no matter what, right? We entered the short around there. We could have said, no matter what, we're gonna sit this trade out. No matter what. And then it's like, okay, but you closed above the highs here. Right? There was a lot of volume here. Right? Gold started to do some gold things. So it might be better to just get out risk-free. See how this hourly candle closes. And if we close below our key level, we can re-enter right away and look for the target at 24.88. If you don't close below this level, then it might be a scenario where we're looking actually quite strong. Right? We're looking quite strong. We're looking on the stronger side here. Then the question is, what is the dollar doing, right? Is the dollar suddenly looking stronger or weaker? And if the dollar is looking weaker, it's also gonna benefit gold. So I'm not sure what's happening here, but yeah, I mean, look at that. That's perfect timing. You know, it looked very good, and we saw that follow through, but the dollar decided, no, that's it for me. So this completely removes our short bias. And why can we just suddenly move from a long bias to a short bias? Well, that is because we are in a bigger range. We are in a bigger range, and anything in this range is possible, shorts and longs. The moment we start to trend, right? The moment we start to push up and we start to trend here, I think that buys become much more, reliable. Obviously, right here, there were a lot more buying opportunities than selling opportunities, right? But in this range, we can change our buys whenever we have to. Hello, Lorenzo. I'm Brazilian. I operate in the Brazilian market known as B3. I confess that I do not understand English at all, or only speak English. I only speak English and Spanish, but the environment of your channel makes me calm and peace to enter my negotiations. Congratulations on the channel. Thank you. Obrigado. Risk in selling right now? I feel like that, yeah. Yes, I think it's on the riskier side, yeah. We do have this on the open. It's probably gonna be something similar to yesterday, if it's gonna be a long. And that is this. Just break above the Sunday open and then just, entering or utilizing the same range that we've seen here. But it's just very close to the Sunday open, so it does not really matter. Somewhat like this level, the fixed very high. So yeah, look, you're in the range. This is for now our no trading zone. The 2504 and the 2512 or 11. It's kind of our no trading range. And it's pretty obvious that if we hold and break above the Sunday open, that we will have particularly a scenario where we could just, continue to uptrend here. And if you break down the 2503 and you have at least a 1 hour closure below the 2503, then I think that you have, again, a potential rollover again. But for now, I think this is like our no trading zone for now. Yeah. Then look at the sessions themselves. The London highs are still not taken out. The Asian highs are sitting at the 25.26 and the previous daily highs are sitting at 25.26. The previous daily lows are taken out. So yeah, hopefully we create something like a move like that before continuing up. And if you do roll over, yeah, then it's always a scenario that we might be pulling back again. But we'll see how that moves here. So far, the dollar is testing support. As we are coming down. Lorenzo, have you ever worked with low and high volume nodes? They seem to be extremely accurate in identifying support and resistance levels and are an essential part of the volume profile. Yes, so we're not only looking at the POC. The POC is always the most high volume node. But I do agree that you know, looking at the nodes themselves are definitely important. So yeah, absolutely, Jurgen. Thank you. Let's see, up or down. We're currently in the middle of the range. So it all depends on what the dollar is going to do here. If the dollar starts to, you know, hold support here at this level, gold could easily still just roll over and continue further to the downside. And we might be, you know, we might entering again the same trade. But that hourly closure needs to be done, because that hourly closure is showing us that we're just holding up very well above our main level. It is the 25.03, so we really want to close that hourly candle below, if that's the case. But I would love to prefer now just to see us breaking back above the Sunday open, go for the London highs, pull back, and go for the Asian highs. That's it. After setting in the bottom at 8:30. That will be the ideal case. But yeah. Do you trade just gold on stream? Gold and the Nasdaq. So with the Nasdaq in this case right here, while we were in our gold trade right now, we talked about this level, right? If you remember that level, the 25.16, we talked about that level in particular, right? If you remember that we talked about at the beginning of the stream, if you're still watching, and type in a yes. I want to make sure that people were there when we were talking about the NAS, about that level particularly, about a range that we have formed on the lower time frame right here. Okay. To type in a yes if you understand or have seen that level. so you understand how powerful fixed profiles can be when tapping into it right there. So right now we did it again. I just see that the Nasdaq is actually very nice. I just look at it right now. We were so looking at gold here, and when I look at the Nasdaq, I'm like, man, the Nasdaq looks incredible, man. Look at the 1 minute here. We created another range, consolidation, expansion, retracement, fixed profile again, same level. You see that? Tapped into it again. Continued this momentum to the upside. So it was beautifully right here. It was beautifully right there. And it tapped into the fixed PVC 2 times in this case. 1 time there, 1 time there, and it's now just pushing up here. So yeah, no, the Nasdaq is definitely also showing some potential here. You know, on the bigger time frames now. But yeah, do you understand why it's just already too much? Like 2 pairs right here is already like a lot of work. So imagine if you started to implement FOREX on stream as well with, you know, 6 different or 8 different currencies and baskets. You know, I wish I could do it. I wish I could show you it. I will make a bunch of videos on my channel about it, but there is just no way we could actually trade it, because that means that we will have to focus on so many different layers on the stream, and we will just lose track, and we will lose out on the best opportunity. So already with like 2 pairs, it's already more than enough in terms of focus, you know, focal points right here, because this was actually beautiful. If you looked at the Nasdaq right now at the moment, that reaction from that low, from that range, and then the fixed PVC internally when price started to range again before, you know, breaking out of the high, setting in a higher low, and then just continuing its momentum here. A lot of guys that trade the Nasdaq trade ICT. I think that you should think about trading LTA when trading the Nasdaq using the VOID profile. Yeah, everyone, thank you for the love and support, by the way, and for the good atmosphere, right? Sometimes we have to do what we have to do. I hope you get that. I hope you understand that. It's all love, though. We're all coming from like a good place here, right? But once in a while, you know, we have to, you know, show and it's kind of show what we stand for, right? On this channel, in our group, in our community, and you know, understand the mindset that we like to share, at least with our group as well. So I appreciate the love, I appreciate the support. We're heading towards the 100,000 subscribers. We're almost there, so we're gonna do some big things, man. Once the 100K is coming, we're talking about content. Some big things are coming, man. We have to step our game up as well. Besides the live streams, we're heading towards the 100K. So that has been a long ride. 2 years of being here, 450 live trades on stream. It's been a long ride. But thank you very much, Cheese. Nawas says, hello buddy, it's been long. I'm watching your stream, I'm learning a lot. Can you please check the chart of HK50 Seng futures? I really wonder what it is about. HK50 Hang Seng. Okay, we'll give it a try, man. If it's something. Let's see. Have not seen it yet. Okay. Let's start off on the weekly then. All right. Just to see what's going on. The weekly has been trending down clearly. Until this point, we started to kind of push up here. This is kind of what created that expansion. So I would say we're in like daily. I would say the weekly is bearish. The daily is bearish. We did came down, but this low was not strong enough. This bounce from this low was not strong enough to break the highs here that really matter. That's this high right here. We're currently getting rejected from it. So we're kind of rolling over, and we're kind of confirming that daily trend right now as well to the downside. Then looking at this structure on the 4-hour, we can see that this is kind of the range that matters. This kind of was the range that initially caused the breakthrough moment. This is the retracement. Let's see what happened in this range. Yeah, once we started to reach like a zone here, we started to get rejected. Let's also check out the swing. We saw the same rejection as well here. Okay, so yeah, definitely, of course, on the bearish side right now at the moment. Definitely looking to see if price can continue to drive down. We have been trading up on the 1-hour. But the weekly is bearish. I consider the daily bearish. I think that you might be looking for continuations to the downside as of right now. Stops above the highs, looking for continuations. You can always think about, okay, what happens if we just look at day by day, right? What can we, kind of see when price is just coming down here? And that is that we set in the high yesterday on a Tuesday, and now we're breaking down the same day. And I think that this looks bearish to me. So yeah, definitely bearish buys. I do not know enough about the fundamentals though. All right, I do not know about the fundamentals enough, so it's not for me personally something that I don't know exactly what's going on here. What I think you could do though is you could still wait for price to pull back to the highs one more time, and you kind of would form your head and shoulders. I'm not really a big fan of trading head and shoulders patterns, but in this case, when everything aligns from like the weekly to the daily to the 4-hour to the 30-minute. I would say it's worth to set in a lower high and sell off from there. So yeah, it kind of makes sense in this matter, to be honest. The question is gold gonna do it, G's? Is gold still gonna push here, or was this the move? Was this just the one move here, that one push up? New York open, no follow through, just consolidation. Any other catalyst? Well, we had now the hourly closure. We had the 1-hour closure. I'm talking about the 1 hour after. Yeah, 1 hour after the US Open as well now. So there are not many more catalysts here that I think will give us another setup unless we start seeing price moving down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for the 1 hour candle closure again. It's in like 15 minutes. And if something happens in between, we know, or around that time period, we know what to look out for. Okay, that's the idea. We took a short, price squeezed up, we almost got stopped out, price came down, went into profit, we closed it on break even, risk free. Now the hourly candle closed above, and now we're back into the range. We're back into the same range where we initially came from. So we need to leave that range before we could start looking for new entries. And if we stay in this range, we don't know for how long we're gonna stay in it. Is it for an hour? Is it for 2 hours, 3 hours? We don't know. We don't know, but we'll see. for sure in another 15 minutes, see what we can do there if the price starts moving around or outside of it. Easily could take another trade, but of course it all depends on the structure of gold if gold starts moving. Thomas, Lorenzo, first of all, thank you for all the hard work and everything you're doing for us. Really appreciate it. And maybe a stupid question, but are there any rules or limits in the 50% bonus account from Vantage? No rules, no limits. If you sign up through Vantage, through this link right here, you click on Vantage. I use Vantage as my broker, right? I withdrew multiple six figures there from and to multiple times. Then you can open an account, and if it's the first time and you start off with a smaller amount, so like up to $1,000, then you can get a 50% deposit bonus indeed. So Thomas, there are no rules. The only thing is that you have to take consideration is that you can't withdraw it. It's not free money, you know. You get more money to work with. That's what it is. Abhishek says, if the market repeats itself, it is real, then it will fall from here, my G. You might be right. You might be right. We're back in the range. We're back in the range. We need to leave it. We need to leave it to see if there is room. There is room here for another trade. Like in this range, it could go in any direction. Any direction. You know, the funny thing is that the dollar is actually tanking really hard now. And gold, I mean, doesn't really care. So it just shows that the big volume came in much earlier. Much earlier today. Promise says, did you know that the dollar index, the dollar itself, made a new yearly low? So yeah, that's actually no surprise in anticipation of the rate cuts potentially next month here. So yeah, for sure, man. It is, it's very interesting. That's why I'm actually so in the understanding of it. Like, is this gonna be a, you know, everyone is anticipating rate cuts, so that's why they're anticipating price to come down, right? And that has happened now over the last like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. We had 5 bearish weeks so far. We're in a bigger range, so we're probably gonna leave that bigger range also anytime soon. We're also have been just building up and building up and building up. We already broke out of it, right? This is just a compression. We broke out of it, and we're looking very, very bearish here. Now the question is, when the actual rate cut gets integrated, right? Will that be a buy, you know, a sell the rumor, buy the news event? That's the question for the dollar. That's what I'm, you know, curious about, especially in the next month, in the month of September. And will that be obviously the opposite for gold? So will gold actually sell off when everyone thinks gold is going to go to the moon in September? The worst month for gold, usually the worst month for gold. At least 91% of the time, we close weaker in September over the last 10 years. So yeah, man. Well, the only way to find out is that we can see here. The only thing that I can say right now is that if you look at gold here on the 4-hour, every pullback starts with a distribution phase, right? That's kind of what's happening here. Buyers are buying, and buyers are buying, buyers are buying, buyers are buying, and sellers are selling it to the buyers. And at some point we have that transition phase before moving down here. So at some point, you know, we have to come down a little bit at least. The question is, will this be this range? Yes or no? We don't know that. We don't know if it's going to be this range or the next range or the next range. But the only thing that we can say now is that the monthly candle closure is very close. September is the worst month statistically for gold. Dollar has already tanked in the last 5 weeks in anticipation of the rate cut. When you bring all these things together, and we are starting to formulate a range like this, then, you know, we might be topping out here. We might actually be topping out at this particular moment. Who knows? And that's something that we're trying to figure out. Is that going to be, you know, what we're seeing here? Or is it just another just pause before push back up? We'll figure that out later. But one thing is for certain, if you want to become bearish biased, you don't have to worry about I'm missing out, because you're gonna see the trades coming out in your way here. You see this one, range, expansion, retracement, continuation. It came back up, but if you were positioning yourself here and price did came down further, you would have been in the best possible scenario, the best possible trade. That's why we took that trade regardless, right? Same thing here. We saw this move. We started to flatten out, and then we aggressively tanked. Then that big red candle came. And once that big red candle came, what tends to happen is that if you pull back, that's when most people step in. And that's when you can start thinking about looking for the short. Same thing here, right? This is a top of a trend or top of a swing. You start to flatten out on a smaller scale, right? You start to range. Massive candle, retracement, and then the sell-off begins. So I'm never worried about missing out on a bigger picture when I see something like this here, right? We're trading the internals, we're trading the smaller ranges, we're taking trades right now buy and sell within the range itself on the lower time frame, the 5-minute, the 15-minute. But what we're waiting for is just simply that big red candle. Once that big red candle comes, the pullback is where you find the best opportunities for yourself. And that's it. My friend says, I'm out. I can analyze my X better than the gold chart. Okay, yeah, I can get it. I can get into that today. I can get into that today. Yeah. Says Lorenzo can stop now because of you. Don't worry, man. Next time we'll get him. We'll get him. I know this guy's trolling. RJ World says, I'm in sales personally. Good luck to everyone else. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to wait for the hourly closure. If we're still in this range, then there's nothing I'm going to do here. If we leave the range, then we have setups, we have potential. But yeah, we don't know when it's going to happen, right? Because the hourly candle is clearly, you know, closing. The next candle closed above it. You know, it's kind of like it could go either direction in this range right here that we marked out, in my opinion. So we need to really leave this range before we can start thinking about setups, and we don't know how long it's going to take. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. We don't know. We don't know. I don't know, have you ever faced a situation where your close ones told you not to trade and get a 9 to 5? If so, how did you deal with it? P.S. My girlfriend is asking me too. So to give you an honest answer, I think that my parents quite quickly realized that I was gonna do my own thing, regardless. So yeah, no, I think they quickly realized that I had to find my own ways in life. So no, I never had that pressure from my family or my people around me, pushing me into a 9 to 5. I do have a lot of friends that experience this though, with their parents and their experience. So yes, I've seen it a lot happen around me, and yeah. The only thing that I realized is, you know, you have that beast inside of you or not, and it's either, you know, you're made for it or not. Some people are not made for it. Other people are made for it. Right? Both is fine. Both is fine. Guys, here's a question. Is silver better than gold? Lorenzo, turn your eyes to silver. Silver has its moments. It has its moments. All right. Sometimes silver is absolutely not better than gold. Sometimes it is better than gold. Yeah. I mean, we can check the silver chart if you want to. Maybe today it's by far much better. Let's see. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we have. So, range. Yeah. Okay, that's all right. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good. All right. We had the consolidation manipulated. We broke the highs. We retested it, and we went up. That's not bad. Not bad. Check out the internals here. That's not bad either. The fix very low. I mean, okay. Okay, it's not bad either. Tapped into it, sold off, boom. It's not bad. What about this range? Very low. Okay. Let's go to the 50-minute. What about this range? Yeah, internally, yes. We were trending up. I mean, I do give you credit because I do think that you're right now at the moment. It's very clean. It's very clean. But so is gold though. Gold also showed a lot of setups last week. A lot of beautiful trades last week as well. So, and even yesterday, if you were patient, you were very patient. It was the exact setup as well here. So, I mean, yeah, it definitely looks good. It definitely looks good, and it might look a little bit better than gold right now, to be honest. But yeah, it's seasonal. What is better, SMC or ICT? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see the. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't trade it, so I don't know. Couldn't give you a. I couldn't give you a good answer here. I do take. I just take a couple things that I've seen from both. From both. Why is gold struggling so much in the 2500 range? Great question, but that's what's happening now. Like we said before, we're developing a distribution range potentially, right? It could be a bullish continuation, but it could also be a distribution range over time here, right? We tend to do this a lot on a bigger scale as well, where we just are starting to consolidate, and this is usually where most guys lose money. They get into the trades here, gold goes up, everyone is happy, everyone is making money, right? Making money here, making money, buy, and then the moment you go into like a bell curve, so the moment price starts to roll over, that's when these guys starting to lose, because they're still in that buy bias, right? They still have that buy mentality, and that's usually where guys give away their profits, and then price reverses, or it comes down before it continues to come up, or whatever the case may be, right? Or it comes up again for the next wave and they start making money again. But they have the hardest times adapting to an era of consolidation. So I think that with LTA concepts, we have two different strategies, where we have one strategy, one hybrid variant. When we are trending, I'm not scalping. I'm only looking to enter from previous daily levels, previous weekly levels, only looking for the right entry models, Sunday open, only looking for the right setups. If we start to range, then I'm going to the lower time frames, and I'm only working with fixed levels. And that's it. Working most of the time with fixed levels, unless we're around the Sunday open as well. So that's the thought process. It's kind of in the middle here. All right, we have 1 minute left for the hourly closure. I think we're gonna close in the range. That means that it will take way too much time before we could find another setup, because we need to leave the range first before we can find the setup. And then with the confirmation, we're gonna be here for a couple more hours. So we have been streaming for around 3 hours already. So yeah, at this particular moment, that sell was a great try. It could have easily flipped and continued to drive down after that rejection. I was very happy with the sell. I stood behind the sell. Price did almost stop us out here. Luckily, it came back to our entry. We managed to close our position. Price came down in profit slightly, but it reversed quite quickly into the range again where we took our sell from. And we're practically at the same level where we took our initial short from, but now with more information showing us that we're internally in the range. And then it's better to sit it out for me personally before I look for a new setup. And that means that we need to leave this range before we can start going for new trades. That's the way to do it. Okay? That's the way to do it. Nasdaq is good. Nasdaq is not that good. Nasdaq is already moving a lot. So Nasdaq is also ready. If you want to look for the Nasdaq, then look for this level right here. It's a level that I can give you right now that you can utilize, okay? Because you are in a bigger range. Just use the bigger range in your advantage. And that means that if you pull back towards the 19,552, sky's the limit, my friend. Sky's the limit. 19,552 or 19,588. These are the two levels that you can look for if price pulls back. Why? Because you just obviously created a very clean range here on a 30-minute, similar to what we have done here, right? And then when you pull back, you know, you're gonna have a hard time here. The overall trend is bearish, and you broke below major initial resistance here. So if you pull back, I do think you have something there. 19,552. Okay. If you want to learn more about how we trade, why we look for these setups, why they work so well when we trade, and when we look for these entries based upon these structures and profiles all the time, right? Then download the free ebook. It's all in there. It's made for you. It's made to be shared on the live stream, to be talked about. And if you have any questions on the live stream when talking about the ebook, I'm willing to help you out at any given moment when you leave it in the chat here. All right, we can help you out with fine tuning here. All the settings are in there. The entry models are in there. The examples are in there. Everything is in there in that matter. All right. Gold is there. We talked about it. You know what the scenarios are for gold. If not, go back a little bit here. All right. Like I said one more time, we have 6 days left for the membership to close down. All right. We have been there with our group right now. I think that Joelyn is still in the GBP cat trade. I think Kellog right now is currently still in the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar trade, and Marco is, I think, still in the Euro Yen. I think he's still in the Euro Yen short. If I'm correct. 6 days left. All right. If you want to get access to the lecture series, to our group, you go to click on the link in the description, click on the VIP.LTA concepts, and then you will have 6 days left to join us right there. All right. The live trading floor where we trade from London to late New York. Okay, Asia sometimes as well. More London and New York though. Okay. The lecture series is in there, or we can take it to the whole lecture series, but you know, it explains everything that you learned in the ebook in depth. And then once you have done the test, we have a test, you can join the trading floor and trade with us live. Why? We want to make sure that people are on the same page. Okay. Last but not least, Funded Next is now on TradingView, man. Funded Next is on TradingView, which is absolutely insane. No more MetaTrader needed for your challenge, your prop firm challenge. I'm very happy with that. Personally, all right, I'm not a big fan of MetaTrader. I use it, I got used to it, but you know, it's like trading on Windows XP against, you know, Windows 11. Whatever the case it is right now. Okay, so if you want to get access and do a prop firm challenge with us, trade with us live on stream, or by yourself, whatever you prefer, get here an 8% discount. Go then to tradingview.fundednext.com, log in with your details, and trade like you usually trade on TradingView. And trust me, trading on TradingView is a very pleasant way to trade if you get used to it. No need to calculate lot sizes, no need to do all these other things as well right there. Okay, so Limitless 8, click on the link in the description and get your 8% off as well there. All right, hopefully tomorrow we have another clean move here for gold. We start doing something, and it was worth a try. Get into that short. I think we got saved by the bell, and we survived, so that's all good. It's all about risk management, and that's what matters in most cases. And no need to be aggressive, no need to be greedy. That could have got us wrecked if we, well, kind of not really, because we're right at the entry again. We have been hovering around the entry for hours at the moment. So let's see if tomorrow is better. Tomorrow we have the GDP, which is gonna be amazing. Right as when the stream starts, so like, you know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes after the stream starts. We have the GDP right away, so we do our analysis beforehand. We talk and cover the GDP. We see if it makes sense to trade before. If not, we trade after. All good. We utilize the expansion. And Friday, the core PCE price index. All right. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. LTA concepts, the volume profile right there. All right. That's how we work. We utilize the correlations, the custom baskets we have developed as well here. The custom baskets are free. You can get them for free. The indicators we have developed are for free. You can find them in all the LTA indicator sections. So everything to get started for you should be there in a nutshell. All right. In the ebook right there. In the, what else? What else do we have? The indicators, the watch list, the baskets, if you're interested in trading Forex. Should all be in there as well for you. Okay, a complete package to work with. Should set the right framework and foundation. All right, take care, G's. Have a great rest of your day here, and almost at 100,000. Almost at 100,000. after 450 live trades. It has been a it has been a long journey, but it's great to have you guys here and to step up our game as always. All right, take care, G's, and see you tomorrow with the GDP news. Hopefully gold makes a nice clean big move here. All right, take care. Ciao, ciao.
Woo!